Big welcome everyone and welcome to one of our live classes. My name is Janette and I'm from Case Flower School, and behind camera we have Deirdre. Say hello there, Deirdre.
Hello everybody.
So these are containers that we have picked up in one of our suppliers, and it was actually from the UK, so they were called UK floral suppliers. So I know we get lots of UK followers here, but they do have something similar up in Evergreen Silk Plants and also in O'Neill's Flowers. And also wholesaleflowers.ie, based here in Dublin. They deal with UK floral supplies, so they'll be able to get them in for you. Again, if anybody was handy, if you knew a lumberjack fella cutting down a couple of trees, sure, that's all it is. It's just a bit of bark around a piece of wood, couple of nails, 4x4, bit of plastic lining on the inside, and sure, Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your auntie. And there you have a nice container. But isn't this one beautiful? So what I've done is I've just put a wedge of floral foam down into the centre of it, and then I'm just going to get approximately 2/3. We'll just try this here. There we go. Yeah, the 2/3 there will work out grand. And so you know me, when I'm working with floral foam, I always like to cut the corners off. It'll absolutely make no difference to this arrangement at all. I always like to peel around the top. Probably not going to make any difference to the arrangement at all. But again, it's a habit that I have. It was something I was trained to do, and in certain arrangements it does make a huge big difference. There is a bit in here, by the way, in case you think I'm throwing that on the floor. So now I'm going to just rest that in there. So there's our floral foam. Now again, I know people will be asking, could we do this foam free? And absolutely, you could use your, sorry if I'm going off camera there for a second, you could use your guppy holders, or again you could use your holly chapel container, or you could even use chicken wire and it would work out perfect. So for securing it in, what I'm going to use is some gutta tape and some 20 gauge wires. So I'm placing two 20 gauge wires side by side, and I'm going to cover them with gutta tape. Now I actually have a step-by-step tutorial how to master this technique of gutta taping, and you'll find it on our website. So maybe if somebody is watching there, again I know Sinead or Noreen or Celine there, blank on your name there, Celine for a second, is if you put up the website www.caseflowerschool.com, or if you go actually directly to our blog, to our website, find the blog page, and again you will see a little video there how to learn how to gutta tape. So what I have there is two 20 gauge wires gutta taped and two 20 gauge wires gutta taped, and I'm now going to twist them together, a bit like barbed wire, and that's just to make them longer. Now I know some of you might say, but can't you gutta tape them together to make them longer? You can, but just not for the design that I'm working with today. You'll find I'll probably pull it apart. You'll see why now in a second. So in through the container there, let me see, there is some kind of like wire securing our, I'm just going to take the foam out for a second just so that I can get at it, right? So in between the wood and the plastic bag there's a little gap, so I'm able to kind of like secure the wire around, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sneaky little sneak in on the other side while I have the floral foam out, okay? And then I'm going to slide it back in. As they say, these things can happen on live cameras, so as well, at least you can see how I'm getting around the problem. And then I'm going to pull my wire nice and tight. And this is why I didn't want to just use taped wires together, because I was afraid that when I pulled it, then that I would pull the wires apart. Now my wire is a little bit long, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off it. And again, I'm just going to twist it around itself in there. And there we go, it's secured in. So that's our wire going across the top there, just to make sure it's nice and secure. Now I'm keeping this arrangement really simple, and that maybe it's something that if you went to your local supermarket or your local florist and you picked up a mixed bunch of flowers, I'm going to mostly keep it whites and greens today. No particular pattern, it's just going to be like a wild kind of like basket, a wild log basket of flowers. Okay, I have a couple of these beautiful roses. These are the Mondial rose. You could use avalanche roses, would be perfect as well. So I'm just going to use two roses together for the moment. If one of your roses happen to be longer or larger than the other, keep the larger head at the bottom and keep the slightly smaller head at the top. What I also have is a little bit of hydrangea foliage. This is from my own garden. So again, I'm just going to add in a little bit of foliage there. I also have a couple of cordyline leaves. These are actually from Deirdre's garden, so I'm just going to cut these a little bit shorter and just kind of like point the end of them, and that will just give me a couple of little spikes here and there. As I said, no particular pattern, no particular system with this design. I have a couple of Fatsia leaves or Aurelia leaves, just looking for the smaller ones here. So I have these support wired at the back. I've showed you how to support wire them before. So again, I'm just going to bring one in there. With the wire on them, it gives me a little bit of manoeuvring. You know, that way if I want to kind of like angle them in a certain way. So again, I can kind of move it around. So the slightly smaller leaf, I'm just bringing one on top of the other. I've given them a little dash of leaf shine. So far in that arrangement, there's 2 roses, 2 Fatsia leaves from the garden, 3 bits of cordyline from the garden, a little bit of hydrangea leaf from the garden. And again, like very little material, and it can look well. It's not finished, obviously. Now, flower-wise, what else have I got? A little bit of the campanula. So this would be in season at the moment, but what you could use instead of it would be some gladiolis, would be perfect, or stock would work out perfect as well, or what else, I have a blank, what's the other one with stock? Antirrhinums. Antirrhinum would be perfect too. So I'm just cutting this into 2 or 3 little sprigs there, and just give us a little bit of height. So as you can see, like no particular pattern, no particular system. Now I have some Lysianthus. So I'm going to cut our Lysianthus kind of short, and I'm just going to randomly put a couple of Lysianthus here and there out through the design. There we go. So just cutting these all nice and short. Might leave 1 or 2 of them a little bit longer in a few minutes, but for the moment, just keeping them like nice and short. I am going to add in a few more roses, you know, that way, and just kind of like add these in and out through the design. It's all kind of about textures, you know, the way with this arrangement, keeping it kind of like mostly white flowers with a little bit of foliage, not too much foliage. You don't want to go for much foliage. And I have a lovely little daisy flower that I'm going to use kind of as my filler in, and that's really going to be my main foliage as well. So adding in a couple of the Lysianthus, no particular pattern. I'm not doing numbers, I'm not doing systems, I'm not doing a number 1 in the centre, I'm not doing 3 around the number 1, just kind of a little bit of like filling in there. And just out where our leaf is, I'm just going to bring a few little roses just out to the side here. So again, just in underneath our Fatsia there, we just bring in smaller headed rose. So just turn that around there just so that you can see it. And then looking at it kind of like sideways, I'm going to bring a second rose just kind of coming out there. Then I'm going to turn that around to you just so that you can see the effect. And then I'm going to bring a third rose a little bit lower into the arrangements, just using this nicely opened one. Again, Mondial is the variety of these roses, in case anybody is wondering. Fabulous for weddings. So you can see how this is coming together. And again, I'm going back now to our Lysianthus. So a couple of little medium Lysianthus heads now, here and there, in and out through the display. If anybody has any questions at all, obviously place them in the comments. So we forgot to start off, Deirdre, by introducing yourselves. So anybody that's watching there, so why don't you comment underneath, let us know where you're watching in from, and you might as well let us know what's the weather like, because it's absolutely a lovely day here today in Dublin. For once in its life, the rain has held off for about 5 or 10 minutes. So at this particular moment, it's not raining, but that's not to say, like down the road a little bit, it could be raining down there. So as you can see there, just sticking in our little Lysianthus heads. If anybody has any questions about our classes or about our training courses, absolutely feel free there to comment underneath. People often ask us like about the displays that we're doing here at the class, like are these covered as part of our classes? Absolutely no. Like anything that we cover here on our free live class is what it is. It's a free live class. So I'm going to add in a few more of our little Fatsias. I'm sorry, cordylines I meant to say. But what we do with these live classes, these are just more to give you a little bit of a taste, you know, that way, of what you can do or what you can learn as part of our training courses here at Kay's Flower School.
I think what's really key is with the training courses, Janette, is the commercialism of it. That,
yeah.
You know, is learning to cost and price for profit.
Exactly, yeah. So, like, when we're doing the courses with the students, like, first of all, they're taught exactly how many flowers they need to use in a display, like, what it's going to cost, where they can source their materials, you know, that way. Obviously all our students, when they're attending the classes here at the school, they get a flower delivery direct from Holland, like to their whole door. And people would say to me, oh God, I live in a remote part of Donegal. Absolutely makes no difference at all where you happen to live. You know, just added in a few more than cordyline leaves. The flowers will be delivered direct to your door. Our whole of the country, as I say, makes absolutely no difference where you are. So this little daisy flower, kind of like a Michaelmas daisy September flower, is I'm just going to add this in as a little bit of a filler. And you can see why I wasn't going to add in much foliage, because as I said, this was going to be my foliage or going to be my filler in the display. But what you could use instead, I know some people watching are absolutely great lovers of gyp, and gyp would be perfect for adding into this display. Or wax flower would be perfect, or limonium, what else?
Yeah, any of those little small fillers would be fab. Obviously, depending on the colour as well, you have the likes of your Solidago and Solidaster as well, if you're going to go with your yellows and sunshiny colours. This is beautiful. It's very wedding-y looking, isn't it, Janette?
It is wedding-y looking. Again, it could be used, like, even though I've made it that it has got a front and a back, you can see the back of it is quite nice, but it'd be easy enough to adjust this display and have it that it is a two-sided arrangement, you know, that way, if that's what you would prefer. Again, it would be a lovely gift for somebody, like, you know, I'm going to say Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, obviously it can be done in reds. Christmas time, you could substitute the foliages for kind of like more winter type of foliages, and obviously with red flowers, etc. Or even just throughout the year, congratulations, thinking of you, I love you, happy birthday, happy anniversary.
And just for anybody, Janette, that is watching this on YouTube, we do have lots of free tutorials over on YouTube. I actually had a girl last week on the phone saying that she had watched all of the tutorials and she'd learned so much, but she
bet she has a Dublin accent after watching all
probably after listening to you for that long. But she wanted to learn, again, more the commercial end of it.
Yeah. Just
a reminder as well, we do have the free conditioning course, because in case somebody's asking how do you condition those roses, the roses are absolutely stunning. Or the likes of the campanula or the lysianthus, to make them last longer. And that's key to being a florist. It's not just flower arranging, sure it's not?
No. So you can sign up to our free conditioning program. Maybe I'll get one of the girls to put the link in the comments below. But the easy way to find it is go to our website, go to the blog page on the website, and again you'll see one of the first things there will be the conditioning and treatment of flower program. And you can sign up to that for free. I think we're up around 79 different conditioning videos at the moment. We're constantly adding to it. So once you're signed up, you'll automatically get the newer updates. So as we add in new flowers, like flowers that will be in season, flowers that are kind of more on trend at particular times of the year, we're adding to it constantly. But also foliages, like how to condition your foliage, that's all part of that course as well. Okay, just have a tiny little bit of the campanula. Just want to stick a little bit in here, out to one side. And I think then I'll be happy.
I don't think you get much more into that.
I don't think I'm going to get much more into it. Exactly. And this last one I'm struggling, just hit the leaf. Do you know what? It's not going to go in, so I'm just going to leave it out altogether. Would have liked to get it in, but it's not going in, so we leave it out. It'll be fine, sure. I'll use it in another arrangement. So there is your little gift basket, or log basket,
log box,
name you want to put on it, log box, etc. Again, hope you enjoyed that class. Thanks a million, everybody, for joining in. If you have any questions, drop us an email, info@caseflowerschool.com, or for any information on any of the courses that we run here at the school, the professional courses. Remember, this is more hobby courses. For our professional courses, drop us an email, info@caseflowerschool.com. Go to the website, click on the professional courses, and you'll get the full syllabus. Or listen, if you want to have a chat about your training requirements, feel free to give us a ring here. If you're ringing from outside Ireland, 00353, and then the code 1 for Dublin, and 4538649. Thanks a million, everyone, and have a great day.